Greetings gamers, FiOth here, and in this video I am bringing you my Asterigos Curse of the Stars review. This one has been a long time in the making, mostly because other things kept getting in the way and slowing progress down. For any of you who have missed my top 5 games of 2022, I will leave a link at the end of this one so you can go and watch it if you're interested. I placed Asterigos Curse of the Stars at my number 2 only because Elden Ring is a thing in our lives at this point. This little AA production would probably have earned first place in many of my yearly lists due to its amazing qualities and the fact that it came out of nowhere and took me by storm. So without further ado, let's discuss the game itself. As always, AF reviews from yours truly come with zero spoilers. The content used here is trailers only, so you will not be missing out on any of the experience if you keep following this specific vid. I will start with the technical aspects. Asterigos is a game that employs an off-cartoonish look, as you can obviously see here, but the details added to the world and the scale of its architecture is breathtaking. If you have a competent PC, you will observe some impressive foliage physics, amazing colors, and some extremely detailed characters. The size of their frames allows for intricate little tidbits to be added here and there by the devs, and it shows in the final product. There is a bulkiness to some characters, but no centimeter of rendered space goes to waste. You can perceive the attention, any given bit, at every glance. If you're playing on current gen consoles, the results are pretty impressive as well. Game running stably and fluidly, and it's kinda strange that such a small upstart studio was able to pull something like this off. Acme Labs is in Taiwan, if I am not mistaken, and the game is published by my favorite publisher, Tiny Build. I don't know what it is with these guys, but some of my top picks in recent years are games that are published by them, like Hellpoint, Pathologic 2, of course this one. Very happy to see smaller developers being treated with respect by the publishers, because it is something we sorely need in this day and age, where everything is the bottom line. All creations go through test groups, and the industry is in danger of losing a big part of its creativity. That will be gone with the wind if smaller developers go extinct. So graphically, aesthetics of course being of personal preference, but the game looks amazing. It also offers something that is very rare when it comes to games like this, a field of view slider that allows you to zoom all the way out and take in the environments. I will briefly mention the sound, because although the music is excellent and the ambience is fantastic, what really came in as a surprise for me is the quality of the voice acting. For a game coming from where this one does, the voice acting is phenomenal. I couldn't believe it when I started paying attention, and it was a gift that kept on giving. I was dumbstruck and apparently very happy with the results. Something tied to the sound could be the writing, because if you don't have good sound, everything spoken by the characters will sound like nonsense. But apart from the very intelligent scenario behind the proceedings and how multidimensional some of the characters and events are, me being Greek was pleasantly surprised by how many Greek languages in here and how many terms and names stem from ancient Greek. Actual ancient Greek language is present in this game. That pretty much betrays that someone in the dev team was Greek or a lover of ancient Greece, studying it and having a general idea of how people were named and what their names meant and all that good stuff. But it was an excellent surprise and one that I appreciated a lot. Before you ask me, no, I'm not some kind of patriotic lunatic, but seeing this much nuance put into how the game was written was a very, very pleasant surprise, especially in this day and age where things are named as simply as possible to avoid causing confusion among the masses. So, with the technical aspects out of the game, let's focus on what's mostly important, and that is the gameplay itself. Contrary to public belief or what's being discussed about the game in recent months, Asterigos is not a Souls-like. It's not a roguelike or roguelite either. It is a traditional 3D action RPG where you can make some important choices about the fate of certain characters, but you're not gonna be playing Baldur's Gate or Mass Effect or even Dragon Age here. It's kinda more linear, and the way you can affect the world is present but not prominent. You will be moving from area to area with a lot of secrets to be discovered and a lot of leeway when it comes to how you're gonna search around and come closer to the more nuanced aspects of the world. But eventually you will start from a specific instance and end up finishing the game in another. What makes the journey extremely worthwhile is how much thought was put in its various mechanics. In Asterigos you will not be collecting armors or weapons. You get all your weapons from the get-go. 6 of them are available at any given time, and they include a sword and shield combo, a big ass hammer, a spear, a pair of daggers, a staff, and a very intricate pair of bracelets that transform into different weapons and place mines on the battlefield. You don't have a light and heavy attack, you have a weapon 1 attack and the weapon 2 attack that can be chained together to form attack strings and combos. Once you get the hang of this, you can initiate with a ranged attack from a staff and then transition to a melee combo with a sword and shield, or even unleash one of the special moves available, and the skill trees are totally mind-boggling. There is no chaff in here, like you have to invest in something that will never make a difference. And even if you unlock something to progress down the tree, you can go and toggle if it will be active or inactive, so it doesn't interfere with your build. Weapons will be incrementally upgraded throughout the journey, and if you wanna alter Hilda's statistics, you will have to find trinkets that do not alter her appearance or change what her clothing looks like, but will give you specific changes to how she reacts to attacks or the elements and so on and so forth. Combat in this game is relatively challenging but not overwhelming, even on the highest difficulty setting. An average to accustomed, let's say, player will have very little problems, except for some of the amazingly designed bosses available throughout the adventure. There is not a boss in this game except from a couple in the end game, which are like secondary and optional, that doesn't include some mechanical nuance when it comes to their design. There are no bosses around in Asterigos that just come at you and you bust them with a big stick and they will eventually die. They will form shields, they will require specific strategies or communication with an NPC and coordination in order to take them down. Every single one of them feels like a specific mechanical puzzle to solve on the fly. I could exclude the very first one because that is pretty much tutorial, but the fight with the Colossi, for example, and the way you have to handle them is all excellent stuff. All builds can be viable, all weapons have their uses, and a very specific thing that only this game does is that the special attacks of a specific weapon can come out even if said weapon is not equipped at the same time. The shortcuts for using these special abilities are always available as long as you have them slotted in a quick access slot. After talking about all the technical stuff, I would like to focus your attention on our protagonist for a minute, Hilda. Hilda is amazing. She is one of the cutest, sweetest characters you will ever be able to play as. A teenage girl with a lot of fight in her, very feisty and strong-minded. Kinda reminded me of Aloy from the Horizon series, where she has her loyalties, she believes that it is her mission to help the people and do something about the whole predicament that's gonna actually make a difference, but doesn't allow them to pull her left and right and take advantage of her. Her behavior and conduct eventually touches the hearts of those around her, and you can see how the relationship with the NPCs develop and where they will eventually lead, from an annoying little brat to someone respected and beloved. And the ending of the game is really moving in that regard because you get a feeling of accomplishment that very few of the games in this genre actually provide. I am not gonna say anything to spoil your fun of it, but it is really excellent stuff. The story in Asterigos is also extremely interesting, including the world state, that is how you find the world moving into the city of the stars, as the game calls it. Ephesians are an intricate people stuck in a situation for hundreds of years that is kind of mind-boggling if you think about it and how they have been going around their day-to-day lives. But it is done with such taste, and the overall aesthetic helps the proceedings in such an interesting way. You never feel bored or get a sense of I've seen this before or deja vu. The aesthetics stem from Roman and Greek designs, creating a potpourri that really leaves an impression. So I don't like numerical scores, but out of 10, I'd say I would rate Asterigos really close to perfect. It has its shortcomings, but the way I experienced it was fluid, stable, gorgeous, excellent sounding, and overall immersive, to the point where I would forget myself and just keep going, looking for chests, secrets, and enjoying being enveloped by this excellent design. I would highly recommend it, one of the best games of 2022, and a real shame that it didn't manage to make a bigger splash. Of course, it's a huge industry in a capitalistic society, so if you don't throw the money at the marketing department, you're probably not gonna see the sales you were hoping for. Acme Studio did a great job. They should be commended for it. Go give this game a try, and let's hope they keep doing what they're doing, because they knocked this one out of the park. We're expecting some DLC in February. The game is very affordable, so check it out. I would like to thank TinyBuild for providing the review code for this one. I am always open to creative criticism. I hope I can sway even some of you to go and purchase this excellent creation. It has been FiOth in the Honest AF review section. Until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!